With all the talk about walking out of Holmes and Watson, what movies have you walked out on? When I was 12, I walked out of The Ring when they showed that girl's face in the closet or whatever. Since I was crying like a bitch, the theater manager let me and my friends see Rush Hour 2. I've always wanted them to re-release The Ring in 3D, but make the entire thing 2D so people forget, right up to the point when she climbs out of the TV. Hollow Man. My mom knew Kevin Bacon was in it, and she liked him in Footloose, so it must be good. We made it to the scene where he rapes his neighbor, and my mom realized this probably wasn't appropriate for a 9-year-old. Was that before or after Kevin Bacon was hanging dong? A real Thunder Gun move. Dragon Ball Evolution, and I saw it on the plane. DB Evolution was so bad that the writer, not director, apologized for the atrocity. I knew that it would eventually come down to this one day. Dragon Ball Evolution marked a very painful creative point in my life. To have something with my name on it as the writer be so globally reviled is gut-wrenching. To receive hate mail from all over the world is heartbreaking. I spent so many years trying to deflect the blame, but at the end of the day it all comes down to the written word on page, and I take full responsibility for what was such a disappointment to so many fans. I did the best I could, but at the end of the day, I dropped the Dragon Ball. I went into the project chasing after a big payday, not as a fan of the franchise but as a businessman taking on an assignment. I have learned that when you go into a creative endeavor without passion you come out with suboptimal results, and sometimes flat-out garbage. So I'm not blaming anyone for Dragon Ball but myself. As a fanboy of other series, I know what it's like to have something you love and anticipate be so disappointing. Not to mention Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball, felt that him being involved in the movie was a waste of time because no one listened to a word he said. He was treated so poorly and the movie was so bad he thought, "Duck this, I'll make my own movie." That movie became Battle of Gods, which is not only the best Dragon Ball movie ever, but revitalized the series, brought us a 150-episode sequel series in Super and 2 more movies. So in a way, DB Evolution was kind of the catalyst for the series' resurgence in popular culture. When I worked at a theater and we showed the French film Irreversible, the entire audience walked out of every showing halfway through. Literally no one stayed to see the end. Halfway through is the most violent rape in any movie ever, and it goes on for about 20 minutes. Edit. I just want to say that several people have stated the rape only went on for 7, 9, or perhaps 10 minutes. I will say that one of those can very well be correct. I don't want to try to re-watch and time it. As a sexual abuse survivor, I find such things triggering. My own memory from the time we screened it was of the rape taking up a full reel of film, and a film reel holds 20 minutes, so that is why I stated it goes on 20 minutes. It certainly feels like even longer than that though. Why did people walk out of Holmes and Watson? It's bad. I appreciate good dumb humor, but there's very few funny moments. Farrell's accent is distracting and there's a lot of mismatched dubbing. I read somewhere it was supposed to be a more raunchy movie, but the studio forced them to tame it down. Not sure if that's true or not, but it definitely either needed to go way more raunchy or way less. It just sucked. A friend of mine worked on this film in London fetching props. Apparently they had to refilm a shit ton of it, so that makes sense. Imagine being an actor and filming super raunchy scenes that are not limited to flinging props that look like poop. Then being told they can't use the scene. What a waste. Leonard Part 6. 2.210 IMDb, 9% Rotten Tomatoes. Seriously, look it up. Bill Cosby is a secret agent who is called back to active duty to catch an evil genius who brainwashes animals to kill people, all while trying to win back his ex-wife. Picture a trout swimming up a sewer pipe to attack a guy sitting on a toilet. #X200B. 10-year-old me loved it. He had a Porsche with a tank cannon on it. All I needed. I've only walked out of one movie. The latest Fantastic Four movie. It took for ducking ever to get to the point, and it wasn't worth it. What, almost an hour in and nobody had superpowers yet. At that point, either they'll rush the rest of the movie or it'll be too long of a movie. Either way, I didn't stick around to find out. Not surprised it bombed. Edit, Fant4 Stick. Even the name is fucking horrible. Just picked this up on clearance for $2. Might have spent too much. You can try to torrent it and you'll never find it. Edit, okay, you can find it on there. But the real question is, would you spend those precious minutes of your life wanting to go through the trouble? So bad it's not even worth stealing. Robbers went to the store and they left copies of it there. Slender Man. To be fair, it was the theater's fault. They had just renovated and they had a new light that was aimed directly at the screen. Management was asked multiple times to fix it so we could, actually see the movie. But they never did. I made it about 20 minutes. Wasn't hooked on the story, but I honestly didn't even see much of it on the screen. I think the theater did you a favor distracting you from that nauseating years too late trend exploiting cash grab abortion. Just watch the Marble Hornet series instead. Yeah, I was never that scared of Slender Man, but the Marble Hornet series really got my interest in the character. Great series. Oh, my favorite walkout story is the Turkish grandmother and her two small grandchildren. We went to see the first Ted movie when it came out. The whole theater was packed with families with small children. Because a teddy bear instantly says children movie. I had to check with a couple sitting next to us if we were in the correct theater. Flash forward with a lot of awkward parents and kids asking what the teddy meant with that there is suddenly a joke which ended with at least she gave a better blowjob than that Arab hooker. That was the K for grandmother to stand up, scream at the children to get up and drag them out of the theater. Best movie experience I have ever had. A film about a teddy bear must be innocuous, the R rating was probably just a mistake. This is like a friend of mine who took her kids to Sausage Party. Aside from the R rating and the cast, does the name not say enough that it's probably not appropriate for a kids? I don't know why people don't understand that animation does not always equal kid movie. Especially if it has an R rating and is called Sausage Party. Deadpool was another one. It was rated R, had dead in the name, and even had advertisements screaming that it was not a kids movie. Stupid parents brought kids to see it anyway. Yep. It was pretty awkward watching Ryan Reynolds getting pegged while sitting next to a 10-year-old. Epic movie. I'm not sure anyone else even remembers that it exists, and good for them. I can't believe those types of movies were so popular for like a decade just because Scary Movie was a sleeper hit. Not Another Teen Movie was the only good movie to come out of that bunch. #X200B, I can't watch Captain America without thinking of the whipped cream scene. All I said was, I'm pretending to whisper a big secret in your ear so that Jake here thinks I'm telling you a secret, which will cause him to break into a hysterical confession where he actually reveals a big secret. Thus confirming everything I just whispered in your ear. As a kid, I thought this was the pinnacle of comedy. As an adult, I'm still not convinced that it isn't. I've never walked out of a movie, but if it had been a cooler day I'd have done so with Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen. Air conditioning is a powerful motivator. The local newspaper had an article rating the various Transformers movies, and Rot was dead last. Incredibly disturbing, unsexy sex seduction scene. Check. One Decepticon attacks with his giant wrecking ball testicles. Check. Just the existence of those two characters who are literally just walking racial stereotypes gone horribly wrong? Check. I walked out on The Grudge. Turned out there were a bunch of teens in the theater that night. They all screamed or laughed in unison at every little thing. I'm talking during the opening scenes even. I left after 15 minutes because I had no idea what was going on and couldn't even hear the dialogue. Never walked out on a movie for thinking it is terrible though. This happens a lot with horror films because the teens usually want to prove to their friends that they're not scared. Saw The Nun and there was half a row of them laughing and goofing off. It wasn't a great movie but that made it frustrating to watch. Same thing happened to me during it on opening weekend. One guy thought he was a comedian for the first 15 minutes until a lady in the audience screamed at the top of her lungs for him to STFU. The theater stayed dead silent after that. The true MVP. The Last Airbender. My siblings and I loved the TV series to death and we organized a big group of friends to come see the midnight premiere. I was already worried because the trailer was really bad, but I still had hope. I was so sad and annoyed that I left the theater for about 20 minutes and hung out in the bathroom. I eventually went back because all my friends were there. Edit, glad I didn't suffer alone. They didn't even pronounce the main character's name correctly. Like what the duck? 15 earthbenders scream for 15 minutes to lift a single rock. At that point it's easier to get into actual fist fights. That's actually poor directing. That rock is being shot by a character off to the side. The multiple guys doing the dance raise the wall of rock. Earthbending just seems to have weird lag in the movie, where the actions happen 1 to 2 seconds before the element reacts. Still, that was a shitty earthbending move. Especially when you have guards tossing tanks.